Hey everyone, it's your favorite Black single mother here, Samantha, the millennial introvert. And today I wanted to talk about these comments that Charlemagne, the loser, made on Breakfast Club. I cannot believe people are still watching that radio show or whatever show it is at this point, because it's on YouTube. And really taking these people's comments seriously. If we want to say somebody's hit the wall, that would be Charlemagne and that other guy that he works with. But anyways, their studio looks ridiculous. Also, by the way, like, what's up with these big old chairs that they're sitting themselves in? But I digress. Let me try to stay on topic. So this story is about Charlemagne talking about Reesa Teesa, the woman who was just had a whole like 52 episode on TikTok about who the F did she marry. And I am commenting on that situation as well, but I just haven't had time to like edit it and put it together and all that. But I did comment on some of the episodes, and I probably will be kind of maybe condensing it like I've seen a few, like one other YouTuber do, because it is a lot of like talking. She does a lot of like talking. Like there's times where it's like you're not getting right to the point and then moving on, especially to have 52 episodes. Like you would think it was because she's trying to well, it got to 52, I think, because she doesn't get straight to the point. She likes to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and repeat and repeat and repeat, and it's a lot. So I started working on that this past weekend, and then of course I had stuff going on with my children, their school. That's a whole nother story, and so it kind of like slowed down my progress. But I did hear this, and I also watched Cynthia G's video on Patreon. So y'all check her out on Patreon. She is still posting videos, still giving her amazing critiques and advice and commentary, which I love. And so you'll have to be a paid member, I think, to catch her videos. But she is on Patreon, and I'm not going to show any of her footage. So, if you want to watch it, you're going to have to pay and get yourself over there. So if you go to patreon.com, I think it's /Cynthia G, and sign up as a member to catch her latest episode where she was talking about Charlemagne and his ignorant ass comments. So, and of course, once more, she was on point. Once more, I agree with her 100%. Once more, Cynthia G is always right. So I did feel triggered when I heard her discussing this, because I don't watch Breakfast Club, so I didn't even know that he did this. Like when I don't have time for people, like it's like a way I could just basically cut them out no matter what and just act like they don't exist. So that's pretty much what I do with the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne and all these idiots on this show, on their like little radio show, whatever. But when I heard that comment, I was like, I do want to chime in because, of course, I agree with Cynthia G. And I know a lot of you are not on the Patreon with her, so you're not knowing what she said, and what she said is right. And I'm not sure other people are going to be having this conversation, because a lot of people have their head too far up their ass to like ever make any kind of sense. So let me just go ahead and play this video so you all can, and then I'll offer my commentary either in between the video or like at the end. It just depends on how fast he comments. So let me go ahead and hit play. And by the way, I do love T.S. Madison, and she's already like fired back at Charlemagne about his crazy, silly, goofy ass comments. But let's go.
Okay, so T.S. Madison threatens Charlemagne for his big bad comment.
Oh my God, no.
Yes, that's what I said. I was like, oh my God, you should be real scared. Last week, I reported on the viral TikTok.
That's the guy's name, DJ Envy, y'all. I couldn't think of his little goofy name for the life of me. That's who else I was talking about earlier. I just could not remember his name. So let's continue.
Series Who the F Did I Marry by Reesa Teesa. And for those who may not be familiar, this is the woman who had an exclusive series on TikTok to share all the lies her ex-husband told her and how she believed them. Charlemagne shared his opinion on the story when I reported it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I hear a lot of big back behavior. Does she have a big back?
She do give Sheila that was driving up the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sheila was beautiful though.
Yeah, no. You talked about the big back, not the face.
Yeah, you're right.
She's cool.
What's your thing with big backs? No, I'm just saying, because in a situation like this, some of you big backs, y'all got to stop being so thirsty for a man. There's a man out there for you, okay? This woman believed all of this because she wanted to believe all of this. Big back belief isn't like everybody else's belief, okay? She said it herself. He said everything I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
She wanted to believe whatever was coming out of his mouth because she wanted a man so bad.
Okay, so
all right, so that was his goofy ass, commentary review, what he gathered from her 52 episodes, if he even watched it. Typical black male behavior, typical shallow ass male behavior, where they just assume, oh, it's because she's fat and we're just going to go with that. Absolutely not. That behavior, like Cynthia G said, is desperate. That behavior is actually a lot of women's behavior. Black women, I've seen white women be desperate as I don't know what for marriage. Women of all races being desperate and thirsty as hell, like we're living in a whole drought for 20 billion years for some dusty ass, raggedy ass marriage. Because women, the bottom line is, feel like they just do not have value without a male being attached to them, without having a raggedy ass ring on their finger that's from, was it Spencer's Gifts or Paragata or whatever they call it in Claire's or whatever they call it in the mall. They look cubic zirconia that they're rocking on their finger and it's turning their finger green. Having that dusty ass name on them that nobody knows, because usually the wife is the breadwinner, so everybody knows the wife, Simone Biles, and they do not know Mr. Biles like that to even know his whole name. So it is a lot of women I've seen over my years on this earth being desperate, impressed, and so impressed with it. And marriage just continues to give its own receipts of showing how it is not a flex. It is just not a flex. I repeat, it's not a flex. Like Cynthia G said, men created marriage and men benefit from marriage. And the best thing, I think the funniest thing they've ever done for themselves is convince women that marriage was something we should be running in, to go and get. And it gives all the women's power away. It shows that we have to value men. If you're so desperate for marriage, you've got to value men. You have to center men. That's the bottom line. And so now you have them running around talking about, I'm the prize. And of course they are the prize to some of these thirsty ass females out here, no matter what size they are. It ain't got nothing to do with no big back or no whatever. It's, I'm desperate and thirsty as hell for marriage, so I'm going to believe anything he tells me, and I want to believe anything he tells me because I need to be the missus. I need to be able to stunt on other women who are smart enough to not believe the lies, who are not desperate enough to believe whatever a guy was tell her just so she can have a husband, to not be a woman who's not willing to pay for a man to live up in her house as dusty as he want to be, with no job and no goals and no ambitions and nothing in the bank account. This dude, that Reesa Teesa guy, her ex-husband, first and foremost, I would never, ever, 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 ever in life call him my ex anything. Like, you're a con. He's a straight up con artist.
But my message to her is, please stop lying to these people, and you can tell them the real reason I left you. You cheated. I caught you in the house with Bradley, and we went to marriage counseling, didn't work, and we broke up.
Hey, this used to be like my mom and dad's jam. Yo, if you from Northtown, PA, stand up. Y'all know all our parents used to play this joint back in the day. I used to hear this joint coming from my mom and dad's basement. Hey, y'all have a good one.
That dude was a straight up con artist. Like, how can you say that was your spouse when you didn't even know who he was? The dude was a complete liar. It was disgusting. And I literally could just tell you what was going to happen from episode to episode. I could tell you ahead of time, this is what's going to happen next, because the bottom line is he needed somewhere to stay. This man was homeless. When she met him, I don't think she ever went to his little studio apartment. He needed somewhere to live. And as, like Cynthia calls him, Warfu has said, yeah, winter is here and brother needed somewhere to stay. Okay. He was homeless and was needing a home. And when he saw her nice townhouse, yeah. And she keeps blaming it on COVID. COVID had a little bit to do with it, but when you listen to her overall story, just a few episodes in, I'm like, man, things are like flying. Like, y'all are just, woo, like you meet him, now y'all laid up together, quarantining and child by. I can't, like, I'm not about to quarantine with somebody I just met 2 minutes ago online. Like, I can't. I won't, I can't. And But yeah, so I'm happy that T.S. Madison is firing back at Charlamagne. Charlamagne is not cute. He needs to fix his discoloration on his face. He's like 5 foot nothing. And I think he has a colorism problem. Like, I think his wife is, I don't know if she's white or what color she is, but whatever. You know, Charlamagne is not somebody that everybody should be worrying about. His name is not even Charlamagne. What is it? Cleophas? I can't remember. But bottom line is, these males that come from the South and know how racist white people can be, they still want to run up and be up under non-black people. And that's his prerogative. But don't be sitting here talking about black women all crazy and think you're not going to get clap back. Okay, don't think that nobody's going to go off on him. He is not a prize. He is not a catch. Him and DJ con artist Envy, they are too damn old to still be sitting on this radio talking about the stuff they talk about. Like, they don't talk about finances and money and the stock market or anything of any substance. They're just continuing to roll out the same drivel about hip hop or whatever. I can't believe anyone takes them seriously. And it's funny because they replaced the woman, like Angela Yee got up out of there quick, but I don't blame her. But she's gone. And now they have this other black woman. But the thing is, I feel like she looks really young. But I'm like, how old is Charlamagne and DJ Envy? Like 100? Like, they're not relevant anymore. They're not. That's why they're still saying stupid stuff. We don't body shame in the new millennium. Like, why are we still saying stuff like this about women? Like, she's the only woman anywhere that's been pressed to get married. Child, bye. There's women out here that's not even big back nothing that's getting on bended knee. Okay, so miss me with it. I watched another episode with this woman. It was a true crime episode, by the way. She had her man who was locked up multiple times. When he got out, she was spending all kinds of money on him, and he still killed her. She was as skinny as a toothpick. That girl was so skinny. So try again, Charlamagne, try again. You know, so they just cannot, any chance they get, they cannot, like, wait to say something negative about women who've got some weight on, some meat on their bones. And I think this is probably the most attention that Charlamagne has gotten in a long time, because, like, nobody is really checking for Breakfast Club. Like, not anybody that matters, you know. The people who are watching are probably like 12 and under. But yeah, I just had to like say that, because I'm like, we're not about to be out here lying in these streets. Y'all know I ain't doing none of that. We're not about to sit here and pretend that all these females are not desperate to be married, and they're not big backs, nothing. They are desperado, okay? And they are doing any and everything to get a man to marry them, even proposing to that man and asking for his hand in marriage and chasing after him, no matter how successful you are globally. Simone, yes, I'm messing with Simone again. And just doing the most. I mean, you all know on this channel, I have named several times a lot of celebrity women who have literally married males that were beneath them, didn't make what they made, having to pay alimony and child support to them now, so on and so forth. So the desperation is real, and these women were not all overweight or whatever you want to call it. Some of them were smaller, skinnier, whatever, and they still were desperate as a mother. You know, they were so desperate, like it's out of control. And I'm just not going to allow those lies to happen, because there's a lot of women who actually carry more weight and ain't thinking about nobody's marriage. Ain't nobody thinking about nobody's dusty ass marriage. So we're not going to put this on her being overweight. That's an easy target. And that's why sometimes it's like, you might as well not even show yourself, because that's all people are going to pay attention to, is like your looks, especially when you're a woman. Guys could be looking like Sasquatch and people take them seriously. They could have no job and be raggedy and dusty and lying and cheating, and people still gonna listen to them for some dating advice. Child, bye. Goodbye, Derek Jackson. So yeah, I saw Reesa Teesa's ex, and he is not attractive. He has a little lisp, but nobody's mentioning. He's on one of the videos, he had the heebie-jeebies. He got something going on with his chin. I'm like, oh, dude, he could be 8 feet. He could be 8 feet tall. That would have not have saved his bad looks. Like, I can't. And I know this girl, she was desperate, but I blame all the mammies and the pick-me's who worship at the black male altar, as Cynthia G would say, and they're so desperate to have some marriage that they throw it on all women, especially black women. They're always, oh, but you're not married, you're having a kid, you're going to be a single mom, blah, 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 blah. And Reesa Teesa mentioned that. She was like, I don't want to be a single mother, so that's why I was so desperate to get married, because at the end of the day, the reality is she really wanted the baby. A lot of times women ain't got time for no raggedy ass dude. That's why a lot of women, when they have the baby, the guys will complain that women ain't thinking about you. We not thinking about you. So your husband's somewhere, we don't care. We have our baby now, I's married, so it looks good on paper, and I can run around with my little ring on my finger and tell people I's married. But we don't really give a shit where our husband is, or we don't care. Like some do, but a lot of women don't. And we're not having that conversation, and it's disingenuous to pretend that these women care so much about these dusty dudes that we're just chasing out. Like if that was the case, you would just see people getting married left and right and like not having babies. People have been doing this forever, like for the longest time, getting married so they can have children. That's literally what we're on this earth to do. So that's what she was doing, Reesa Teesa, as well. It wasn't really about her being desperate for his dusty, stinking ass. It was because people make women feel guilty, especially black women. In the black community, I can speak more for that one because this is the community I'm in. They make you feel like trash if you, God forbid, have a beautiful baby without a stinking ass dude attached to you. They judge you harshly. They call you a baby mama, which is extremely disrespectful. And they just shame you to death. They shame you into oblivion until you find a raggedy ass husband. And then when shit hits the fan and that marriage is trash and he could have harmed her, because that was scary. Whatever she was dealing with that dude, scary. And I'm grateful to God that it didn't turn out the way that it could have. But the women, there's YouTubers on there, and I ain't gonna say their name, but they know who they are, who sit there and shame women into these dangerous situations because they want to feel like they're better than somebody. You're not. No one is better than anyone. People are just living their own different lives, because how can you be better than somebody if somebody wants something different than what you have? Okay, so like even success does not, to me, success is being able to do what you want when you want and having the money to do it. Like that's my ideal of success. It's not being attached to a guy. It's not this, it's not that. So, someone who has a different something else, like, oh, I want to be able to travel, is travel and do this and be a CEO of a bank or whatever. Like your success does not look like my success. So what you think you're flexing on, negative. Like that's not for me. Like that's not what I want. That's not my story. You're not all that. So sitting here, and the women who are gullible enough to let you shame them into marriage, and they don't even know people like that. Like this is not even family or nothing. These are just people online, and people are just like such sheep. They sit here and make people feel bad about themselves enough that they're literally making real life decisions based on what they hear online, and it's ludicrous. I mean, literally just step away from the computer sometimes and breathe, because this is not real. Like some of that stuff just isn't as serious as you think it is. And like, for instance, if you talk to like people in other cultures, like other racial groups or ethnicities, they'll let you know, like they don't look at black single mothers the same way as black males try to say that everybody's looking at us that way. Everybody knows it's black males' fault. Everybody knows our communities are dust, our homes are fatherless because of black males. It's only black females who seem to be confused about who's responsible for the shenanigans. Is black males, and everyone with two eyeballs who has any kind of sense can see that. So to sit here and try to shame a single mother, a black single mother, like it's our fault that we're single moms, it's like, child, miss me with it, because I don't have the time. I know exactly why I did what I did and how it happened. And I'm not apologizing to anybody. And that's how black women need to be. We just do not have that marriage material available to us to make that such a serious requirement, unless you're willing to go outside of your race, which is fine. Go outside of your race or your ethnicity or your nationality. Do what you got to do to find a good man. Like, keep your options open. That's what I'm going to always promote. Keep them options open, women, because if you can have a child if you don't want to be bothered and you just want to have a baby, there's options for that. As long as you can afford the baby, go for it. You can have a baby with your partner and not be married to his ass. You can be married to him and have a baby. Like, there's options there. And that's what I love to promote on my channel, is women having choice, women having options. It's like we go 20 steps forward and 19 steps back every chance we get as women. We keep getting more rights. And then we got these women who are stuck in the Stone Age. I want to sit there and tell you, oh, you got to do it this way. That shit has not worked for a long time, and that's why women have been fighting for their rights, because it's never worked. It's always been oppressive. It's always been a negative thing. And we are having a reckoning right now where things are very different because women do have way more rights. And as you can see, things are being repealed constantly in the Supreme Court, etc., because they want to try to take them rights away because they see how women are behaving now that we have more power. And that alone can tell you, like, as far as like the single mother household has never been higher ever in history. That should tell you right there that women want children and do not have time for men. Like, if we did not care about motherhood, we wouldn't be single mothers. We'd just be living alone, and that would just be what we're doing. Women are still choosing to have children, and of course, we're trying to have a father for the child. So you might be married or in a long-term relationship, whatever. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You know, and people are going in there with their eyes wide open. Like, I don't think a lot of modern women are really sitting there thinking that like this relationship is going to last forever. Like, we know that there's a very high chance it won't. But guess what we're going to continue to do anyway is have our babies. So let me know what y'all think about Charlamagne being shallow as fuck as usual. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.